this. I am looking for an opportunity to tell the story.
I think things are going to work out. That's about all I can say.
Bundy is acting as his own lawyer. What is unusual to see is that many of the onlookers are women. You're a little scared when you look at him?
He just doesn't look like the type to kill somebody.
Killer thing.
He didn't look like anybody's notion of somebody who would tear apart young girls.
Unique about Ted's brain. He talked in terms of a voice in his head, and this voice would start saying things about women.
He had very blue eyes. When he really got going, his eyes went absolutely black.
Murder leaving a person of this type hungry, unfulfilled, would also leave him with the obviously irrational belief that the next time he did it, he would be fulfilled. And the next time he did it, he would be fulfilled. Or the next time he did it, he would be fulfilled.
I think things are going to work out. That's about all I can say.
Bundy is acting as his own lawyer. What is unusual to
dedicated and loving parents, one of 5 brothers and sisters. A home where we as children were the focus of my parents' lives, where we regularly attended church, 2 Christian parents who did not drink, they did not smoke, there was no gambling, there was no physical abuse, fighting in the home. That basically, I was a normal person. I wasn't some guy hanging out in bars or a bar. I wasn't a pervert in the sense that, people look at somebody and say, I know there's something wrong with them, here's a tell. I mean, I was essentially a normal person. I had good friends. I led a normal life, except it was one small but very destructive segment of it that I kept very secret, very close to myself, didn't let anybody know about it. And part of the shock and horror for my dear friends and family years ago when I was first arrested was that there was no clue. They looked at me and they looked at the all-American boy. I'm no social scientist, and I haven't done a survey. I mean, I don't pretend that I know what John Q. Citizen thinks about this. But I've lived in prison for a long time now. And I've met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence just like me. And without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography without question, without exception, deeply influenced and consumed by an addiction to pornography. There's no question about it. The FBI's own study on serial homicide shows that the most common interest among serial killers is pornography. Those of us who have been so much influenced by violence in the media, in particular pornographic violence, are not some kinds of inherent monsters. We are your sons and we are your husbands. And we grew up in regular families. And pornography can reach out and snatch a kid out of any house today. He snatched me out of my house. They snatched me out of my home 20, 30 years ago. And as diligent as my parents were, and they were diligent in protecting their children, and as good a Christian home as we had, and we had a wonderful Christian home, there is no protection against the kinds